going well?
Yeah, it is. I just gotta get
Oh,
this
you're welcome to Unity of Chattanooga. How we doing? Yay! When I wake up in the morning, hey, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, when something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. I just want to look at you, and I know it's gonna be. I already sing. Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day.
It's always a lovely day. intention for us today. Let's go out and live that lovely day. And while we're thinking of that, why don't we take a moment to just hold two dear members that have had health challenges in this past week, Larry and Kate. Just wrap them in love and light, a healing love and light. And seeing them whole and happy and with us once again. And now, take yourself into your own heart and give yourself a loving hug, a loving embrace. Know that you are always loved, forever loved, for you were birthed from love. And yes, it is going to be a lovely day, and so it is.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's praise. There's a holy hush around us.
so much, Landis. You just brought that energy up in the room. Against the wall, we'll be together, you and I. Woo! Good morning to all of you glorious divine creatures, and it's so good that we can be together here today at Unity of Chattanooga. I'd like to welcome everyone that is here and online. If you're online watching us, please say hello. And did I say this? I'm Amanda Adamson, and I am privileged to serve as the president of your board of trustees. This mic is really high. So do we have any newcomers, people that have not been here for the first time? Excellent. We have a couple of people in the back. So how this works is there's a little form on the back, and we promise if we get your information, we will only use it to send you out a bi-monthly newsletter so you know what's going on here. So if you'd be so willing to fill that out and give it to Penny after this service, that would, or put it in the love offering box, that's fine too. So we are honored that you have joined us today. Our ushers have given out the special packet, and we want to extend a special blessing to you. So let's warm up our paws here. And together, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. The Christ in you refers to that spark of divinity, the very same quality of being that Jesus found and brought forth in himself and demonstrated in his ministry. Unity of Chattanooga is part of Unity Worldwide Ministries, a movement that started as a positive, practical, progressive approach to Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer. Today, we combine those teachings with ancient wisdom, modern scientific, and psychological something, because I'm missing a page. So I'm going to improv a little bit. And this is all so that you can live a happy, joy-free, and inspired life. We emphasize personal growth, living consciously, and making a positive difference in the world for all people. We honor the universal truths in all religions and respect an individual's right to choose a spiritual path. Okay, since today is, I put October, but I know what I mean. I was looking for boots online. I don't know what happened, but anyway, today we're going to look at one of the 12 powers of man. And if you're new to Unity, come see me and we could talk about that more. But this being the 8th month, and the 8th power is understanding. Yes. Our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, writes, "Spiritual understanding is the ability of the mind to apprehend and realize the law of thought and the relation of ideas one to another." He also said that, "So we find that there is in man a knowing capacity, transcending intellectual knowledge. Understanding is the facility by which we receive enlightenment and insight. It is our capacity to gain direct perceptions of truth." And this is an intuitive rather than an intellectual gift that we all have within us, and that we just want to realize more and more. So today, I am going to shine our volunteer spotlight on Laura Miller. There are two reasons I want to honor my dear friend Laura. One is every Sunday. Now, we only technically have one potluck a month, but you know we have food and fellowship every single week. And Laura always brings something delicious and wonderful, and we appreciate that. On top of that, she dedicates her time and energy to live streaming our service. Her and Eva swap off, but she took the time to be trained. She didn't know anything. Okay, you can feel this as a push for volunteers. And look at her. Look at her now. She's a master. So Laura, hey. We love you. We appreciate you with your, she always has a smile and an infectious laugh, if you ever get to hear that, which is often. And thank you for your service here. Okay, now is the time in our service where we get to share our own limited love and light with one another. So we're going to just kind of do the little orbit around you, the people that are around you. If you want to, you say hello and greet one another. Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with. Thank you.
I thought I heard about work. I thought I heard her say Power of 8, so I'm like, is she talking about this now? So that's why I moved it over there.
Judy was organizing her mom is sick, so she...
All right, my friends. Good morning, Jay. If y'all would find your seats. Hi, Roger. Oh, yes. Today, we are pleased to welcome back Reverend Annie Sims. Annie is a whole lot of goodness wrapped up in one package. A whole lot of good. She's a singer, actor, author, and spiritual life coach. She currently serves as vice president of the Conversations with God Foundation and is an instructor of the CWG online school. She is one of only 4 Conversations with God life coaches chosen by Walsh. Her book is Wisdom and Works. Wisdom That Works. Thank you. How to Use the Messages of Conversation with God. So that book will be for sale today. So afterwards, might give you another reminder, there's books and CDs that'll be in the library behind us. So please join me in giving Reverend Annie Sims a warm welcome.
I'm wearing my heels too. That's wonderful. Thank you. I can't get used to hearing the word Reverend before my name. This is only the second time I've been introduced as that. Guy was ordained in March, so. Thank you so much. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. That's your part. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Row, row, row. No, you're supposed to keep going. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. How many of us sang this when we were kids? Okay. How many of us ever thought about the message behind the song when you were a kid? I didn't either. That is so cool. Yeah. Row your boat gently downstream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Today I want to talk about the illusion of disunity. Life is but a dream. Okay, and what is the meaning behind that? Go with the flow. It doesn't make any sense to push against the river. The river doesn't care. We just get all wet. Go with the flow downstream and do our best to stay happy, because life is just an illusion, a dream. Life is but a dream. That's very sage advice in that little song we sang as kids. The Toltec tradition, has anybody here read The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz? They say the physical realm is a dream. That's their teaching. The reality is the other side, where we came from and where we inevitably will return. In Hinduism, they call it Maya. This appearance here in the realm of the physical, they say is, quote, the powerful force that creates the cosmic illusion that the phenomenal world is real. And by phenomenal, they just mean where stuff happens. Phenomena happens. Has anybody read Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda? Oh, I've read it 3 times. Yeah, it's amazing. And there's so much in there. He was a master as a child, y'all. He's amazing. And he tells this story in Autobiography of a Yogi. He had gone to a movie theater. That's the way they used to get the news back in the day. And this was World War I. And he went in to catch up on the newsreels. And they were showing the European battlefields in World War I. And he said the battlefield was such carnage, it knocked him right off his center. And he went outside of the theater with a very heavy heart. And so, as much of a master as he was, of course, he's human too. So he asked God, dear God, why dost thou permit such suffering? And he said, to his utter surprise, he immediately saw a vision as if he were standing on the real battlefields in France. And he said the scenes were much worse than what he had seen on the film. And so then he heard this, what he called a gentle voice speaking to his inner consciousness that answered him. And it said this, look intently. You'll see that these scenes now being enacted in France are nothing but a play of chiaroscuro. That's hard to say. Do y'all know what that is, chiaroscuro? It's the play of light and dark. The play of, and see all those were black and white. Right, yin and yang, exactly. And it went on to say, they are the cosmic motion picture, as real and unreal as the theater newsreel you've just seen. A play within a play. Greg Braden, any Greg Braden fans? Yeah, he talks a lot about the holographic nature of the universe. He has this book that we read a long time ago. I think it's called The Holographic. I don't remember the name of it. But the thing that really stuck with me about that was he said he truly believes this realm is so illusory that if we're walking down the road, he says if we could turn around fast enough, there wouldn't be anything there. That we're making it all up. Star Trek fans, anybody? Holodeck? Yeah. As soon as they're done, computer in program, right? So this is all examples of illusion, this realm being illusion. Conversations with God, which is my main body of spiritual training, says we're all making it. We're making this all up. We're making it all up. Conversations with God calls this realm the realm of illusion, calls it also the realm of the physical and the realm of the relative, as opposed to the realm of the spiritual, the realm of the absolute. And by realm of the relative, it means relativity, where something can be relative to something else. So why do we have this realm of illusion, relativity, physicality? Why? Yeah, but how did it come to be? What Conversations with God says is this. And it just makes sense to me. What I love about those books is they make logical sense to my mind. And that's why they were, they're still best-selling. What it says is what happened is God is all there is, right? And you can also use the word love for God. You can use the word life for God. It's all interchangeable. You could even say change. God is always change. But love was, but it wanted to know itself in its own experience. You notice I don't say he. God's bigger than just a man in the sky. So I say it with a capital I. It wanted to know itself in its own experience. And it couldn't do that in the realm of the absolute because there was nothing other than God. There really is nothing other than God. So apparently, what Conversations with God says, and it rings true to me, I'd like to know what you all think about this, if it rings true to you, that was when the Big Bang happened. And it created the physical realm by bursting out into all these fragments of itself, of which we are each one of those fragments.
Yes.
I mean, Jesus the Christ said, "Have I not said ye are gods?"
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we are also endowed with capabilities that divinity has. But so it looks like we're all separate, but we're all part of the one unified whole. Does that make sense to y'all? That's why?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
by being here, we are Godding for God. We are experiencing for God. We are expressing for God. And to the extent that we know that, the more powerful we become. It is said in all the spiritual texts that God is omnipotent, all-powerful, omniscient, all-knowing, and omnipresent, everywhere present. That everything you see here is God. Every rock, every tree, every animal, every insect.
Amen.
Did I hear an amen?
Yes, you
Can I
did.
get an amen? Thank you so much. So Conversations with God has this thing, they call it the law of opposites. And the law of opposites says, in the absence of that which you are not, that which is, let me see, in the absence of that which you are not, that which is not.
That's right.
Is that right? Am I getting that right? I didn't write it down because I've said it 1,000,000 times. In other words, I can't know who I am without knowing the opposite of who I am.
Right.
I can't know what I am without knowing something other than me. And so that's why this whole realm was created that we are in right now. Relativity. Now, the exciting thing about that is that we can make it up however we want. You know, we can choose to fall down the rabbit hole, as it were, in Alice in Wonderland and believe in the illusion, or we can choose to see the illusion for what it is and make a higher choice about it. And about that falling into the rabbit hole. Y'all know that whole story, Alice in Wonderland, right? She follows the white rabbit into the rabbit hole and everything is all wonky and nothing is the way it really is where she lives. Well, that's a nice analogy to the realm of the spiritual, the realm of the physical. The cool thing about it is when we know that, we can choose higher and we can actually change outcomes in our lives by making choices of unity, choices of love rather than fear, choices of inclusion rather exclusion. And we can actually cause things to change in our reality. I've seen it happen. One of Neale Donald Walsch's books is called Happier Than God. Has anybody read create our own reality, and we do it, it's an interior job. We create it by how we frame the external world. So, in my online school, I'm very blessed. I get to work with students all over the world. And it's the CWG online school. And that's what the book is based on. The program is actually also called Wisdom That Works. I'm all about practical spirituality. I mean, I've read so many things, but it's like, if I can't use it, what's the point? I want to use all these spiritual principles to create a better life. And so, in this program and in the book, it's got all kinds of self-reflection questions and action steps. And I also invite the students to go within for their own answers. You know, truth is a movable feast. We each have our own truth. You know, take what you want, leave the rest, right? So one of my students, Sophie in France, and I guess she did it in English because she posted it in English. I don't know if she did it in French and translated it, but she asked that question about that happier than God statement. She said, "Dear God, I'd like to understand what nothing in my world is real means." What does that mean? And this is the answer she got and wrote down. "Dear child, everything around you is but an illusion. One you have created as a race to enjoy life on earth and can change at any given moment. What's real is love, the energy that sustains it, the energy that gives life. So the way you use the planet's resources and treat the animals and each other, yourselves, can derive from love, life, or from fear, death. Since death is also an illusion, bringing you back to life, you're just going in circles until you choose love consciously, thus enjoying life." How about that answer? Yeah, you can go, she heard more. You can go further and understand that more is invisible than visible. What your senses perceive is but the tip of the iceberg. What really matters is invisible. For example, you can't see or touch love. Still, as I just taught you, nothing else is real. When you become aware of this truth, you may want to start acting from the heart instead of the mind. Am I lucky I get to work with people like that?
Yes.
I'm inspired by my own students, and I tell them, they say I'm the teacher of the school, but believe me, we're teaching each other here. I'm still learning every day. So how many readers of Conversations with God do we have in the room? Cool, the youngest one. I'm getting the eyebrows. The first of the 3 statements of ultimate truth from Conversations with God. What do you think would be the prime statement of ultimate truth from Conversations with God? We are all one. There really is no spot where God is not. The first of the 17 steps to being happier than God. I told you the 4th one, it says, be clear that nothing you see is real. The first one, the very first one, says, bring an end to separation theology. Bring an end to separation theology. In that book, he also states, and I quote, we are a hologram. He also says, God and we are one. These are groundbreaking statements with real on-the-ground implications. We are a hologram. What if that's true? What if I just want to say computer in program? Now what? Well, that's what happens when we do the thing they call die. Death does not exist. There's a book called Communion with God from Neale Donald Walsch also that has the 10 illusions of humans, and one of them is death. It's one of the 10 illusions. We don't die. It's just like, I know I've showed this to you all in here before, it's just like a figure 8 on its side. The realm of the physical, the realm of the spiritual, the realm of the relative or relativity, the realm of the absolute. this little point right in the middle of these two realms, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. It goes on and on and on, and it never stops. Life is eternal. You are eternal. The soul is eternal. God is eternal. Nothing else makes sense to my brain. What about yours? You know? How many people, has anyone here read Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor's book, My Stroke of Insight, A Brain Scientist's Personal Journey? Isn't that an amazing book? She also did this tip. Huh?
I was just scratching my
No.
nose.
She's got a TED Talk too, and that's actually in my action assignment, action step for my very first lesson in the online school. I have a link to Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor's TED Talk, and it will move you to tears. She is a brain scientist who had a stroke and lived to tell about it. And it took her 8 years to get all of her cognitive functioning completely back. I'm gonna go, okay, if I get anything wrong, you just do this, otherwise I'm gonna log in. Okay. But golly, that may have just been the perfect thing to have happened, because she learned so much from that experience, and we get to learn from it too. And what I love about her experience is it totally corroborates what Conversations with God says about so many things, including the idea that we are all one. As her left brain broke down, she was only able to access her right brain, which is where all of our cognitive, the left brain is the cognitive functioning. The right brain is the artistic side, right? So she was only coming from this side while this one was breaking down. And I mean, in her book, she'll tell you step by step what happened. But so what happened was all that left brain programming got stripped away. And when that happened, she no longer saw her body as having any boundaries. She said, I would look at my arm and I couldn't tell where it stopped. She saw how we're all connected. She saw that unity from her body. And she said when people would come into a hospital room, they all looked like they were on one plane. She didn't see, like I see first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, out into the parking lot, the house across the street. It was all just like one, until somebody moved towards her and she could see them step out of that one plane. So if you think about as babies, think about all the programming that we started learning as babies in our crib. I mean, first off, we're in the womb, and all we know is unity with our mother, you know, and then we get that first smack on the rear or whatever that makes us cry, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. I know, what did I do? And am I separate now? You know, but then we learn all of this about our environment. They put the mobile up there, you know, and we play with, you know, the little stuff. So it feels like we're learning this separation, this idea of separation just from when we're babies. So it feels very true, doesn't it? I mean, I feel that, you know, it's like, it feels so real. So as babies, we learn the concept of here, there, the space in between, which is one of the triune truths from Conversations with God. There's so many. There's mind, body, spirit, here, there, the space in between. They go on and on and on. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. There's so many. They call them the triune truths. You know, we're living in a realm of duality, but what's true is everything is in threes. So question. If you can really get that you're separate from nothing, if you're separate from no one and nothing, if you really got that today, like, oh my God, I really am part of the one, what would you do differently? There's the rub. Would you eat any differently? If you saw, there's a great song by Tom, what's his last name? Love the guy. Anyway, he wrote a song called
see myself in you. If I saw you on the corner, would I know you? Would I see myself in you? The whole song is about that. If you could see yourself in everyone around you, would you treat anyone different? What if you see yourself in someone with whom you vehemently disagree on any topic? And realize, well, I love the expression there, but for the grace of God go I. It doesn't mean that I'm right and they're wrong, you know. But you know, it just. I mean, if you could say that about a lot of people, though. It's like people that have had such a horrific time in life. There, but for the grace of God go I. And the reason people do make some of the decisions, think the thoughts they make, take some of the actions they make. A lot of it's from that programming that they picked up from day one. And they've fallen so far down the rabbit hole that they don't know who they are. But we know who they are. So we can hold them in our love and our light anyway. Anyone with whom we disagree. Anyone who is violent. You know, a friend of ours, not a friend of ours exactly, my husband's hairdresser just got attacked in a parking lot because he was gay. 3 men almost killed him because he's gay. And so I've spent the last 2 nights trying to wrap my brain around that. And the only thing I can say is forgive them, they know not what they do. They don't know who they are. They haven't been fortunate to have this training that we've all had. They haven't had perhaps the loving upbringing that we were all so fortunate to have. And I mean, mine wasn't always loving. I'll admit I was abused until I was 17. But when I was 18, she told me why, my mama, and we've been best friends ever since, because I'm like, I could have done that if I'd been in your shoes. So I think what I'm asking us to do is try to walk a mile in everyone else's moccasins, as my dad would say. Try to see myself in everyone. And just decide for yourself what those implications might be. Would you eat any differently? The reason that I've been a vegetarian for over 35 years is because I love animals too much to do that. And that's just a personal decision. I'm not making anybody wrong. When there's a fly in the house, you know what I do? I've got a plastic cup about this big and that deep. And it gets on the wall. I do this and I slide a piece of cardboard under it. And it's a fly, and they're kind of gross. So I take it pretty far outside from the front door. And I say, fly, be free. You know, so what would we do differently? I just want y'all to take that home with you and think about it this week. And just try for one day to see yourself in everyone. And love them, even if you don't agree with them. That's all we're being invited to do here. Are there any questions? Okay, hi.
Hi. So I killed a cockroach in the shower this morning.
They're pretty gross.
You're making me rethink some things right now. I still think I'm pretty happy with my decision.
It's okay, because what did you do?
What did I do? I grieved. I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, I gotta shower and get to Unity and but on a more serious note, I am curious. My biggest struggle personally has been to balance the spiritual and the physical, right? Mm-hmm. Because I know this information and I know how useful it is. And then it can be, in my experience, very easy to spiral in one way or the other. Where either you make it where it's all love and light to the point where you ignore the physical reality of the situation, or you're so ingrained in the physical that you forget about your spiritual, right? And in a lot of lifetimes I've lived, it's been one or the other. And I'm really doing my best in this one. So get my shit together.
You're amazing. First off, I'm just loving that you are here so young. You're very fortunate.
I am very blessed.
And do you remember your other lifetimes?
Depends on the one, but I remember a good amount of them. Yeah, and I know I've been around the block. So.
So for balancing negativity, positivity, more or less,
more
centeredness,
like-
non-centeredness.
You know, more like balancing, you know, I'm human, right? And I'm having a human experience, and because I'm so tapped into the spiritual, it can be really easy to forget about that human part of me that wants to just be 24 and go to a party or have sex, right? Because there's such thing as the spiritual that has taught me from very young that we're all interconnected in a way where sometimes, again, I struggle to find the balance of how to use that information practically and still have a spiritual experience.
Well, that's what my course is all about.
And that's
Not to
exactly
sell you
why
on
I'm
that,
asking
but
you.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what it's all about.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, Neale Donald Walsch wrote the foreword for it. He actually did the
Yes.
first round of edits, and he was helping me come up with a title. And his first title of it, I didn't use it. I didn't like it. Well, I'd already come up with wisdom that works, but he was, you know, he said, well, why don't you call it a course in practicals as opposed to a course in miracles?
Right.
Because it's all about practical application of these concepts. So I've got the book here, or I only have 2 copies left. Sorry, they're on Amazon. I need to order more, but it's also the online school. I work with people directly on this, and I coach this stuff. I think you've asked the question of all questions, really. How do we balance our spirituality with living here in the physical? Did you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'll get right to you. Do we have a couple minutes for a question? Another question? Okay. What I love about Abraham Hicks, we got any Abraham Hicks fans? Yeah. You know, they talk about the steps of life, right? Step 1 being the contrast causes us to ask. We bump up against something we don't like. And even without asking, our inner being or our mind is like, I want something different than this. It's like, I look at, you know, that, I don't like it, instantly, it's out there, what I do want that would make me happier. Step 2, it's given. Step 3 is lining up with what's been given. And the way to do that is to go to parties and have sex and be happy. It's really about following your bliss, according to Abraham Hicks. Yeah.
And finding the balance between honoring the intuition behind it.
I'm sorry?
It's finding the balance it's finding the balance between honoring the intuition that's behind following your bliss, in my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it feels good, do it.
On all levels.
If it doesn't feel good, don't do it.
Thank you.
Then you're lined up with your inner being.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, and God doesn't ask us to fix the world. The world doesn't need fixing. We are here for joy. The 5 attitudes of God from Conversations with God, the very first one is joyful. Joyful. God is always joyful. First and foremost. Loving, accepting, blessing, grateful. Okay, so I know I have to get off here, but quick question.
Just real quick question,
Yeah.
forgiveness, because I've been following, oh gosh, his name just left me. But at any rate, forgiveness is about forgiving self. Would you agree? Because as a young person, I'm so grateful to see this young person coming into this. When I was 28 years old, my brother was murdered.
Oh.
And it was a case of fatal attraction. But in that process, I was not in Unity. I didn't join Unity until 1989. And during that process, I have learned how to forgive myself for the hatred that I was harboring for the murderers of my brother. And I'm just now coming full circle. I returned back home to Chattanooga, Tennessee in 2018. And it is from that journaling all along that I learned how to accept and forgive myself, because what those persons who did not understand the spirituality side of their being is why they lived the world they were living in.
That's
And
right.
I learned to live in a world of universal oneness from my experiences with unity being introduced to that concept in 1989.
So we
Universal
say-
oneness will change the way you think.
Yep.
And out of that has come my concept of giving back.
One of the Home with God in a Life That Never Ends, also by Walsh, says, no death is in vain. Every death serves everyone who knows about it. And look what happened. Bless the broken road.
Yeah,
Forgive whoever did that to your brother. They knew not what they did.
that's right.
And also conversation, the last thing I'll say about forgiveness, according to Conversations with God, Neale says, understanding replaces forgiveness in the mind of the master. And that's why like I said with my mom, when she apologized and she told me why she first off, she said, I know now why I was so much harder on you than your sisters. Number one, I'm like, you admit it. I didn't just think it. But then she told me why, and I'm like, oh my God, I probably done the same thing in your shoes. So that's all it takes. Understanding replaces forgiveness in the mind of the master. And I am over time. So shall we go right into the meditation? Would that be good? Thank you all. You all are just so awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and just sort of settle down. Thank you so much for being here and playing with me today. Being open to whatever craziness came out of my mouth. So what I'd like to meditate, I talked about seeing ourselves in everyone for the rest of the day today. There's a biblical quote that says, I am that I am. Well, if we put a comma after the word that, then that is applicable to what I'm talking about. I am that I am. Everywhere I go today, I'm going to see myself in whomever or whatever is in front of my eyes, and I'm going to say, I am that. I am, because the separation just is not true. It looks very real, but we're in a hologram. I'm going to see myself in every person, every animal, every insect, every tree, every plant, every rock, the sky, the clouds. I'm going to see myself in everything I hear, everything I touch. I am that. I am. Everything I smell or taste, I am that. What I'm putting into my mouth, I am that. All I encounter in every moment of every day is simply vibration of the one unified whole. I am an individuated aspect of that whole. We are individuated aspects of that whole. We are a part of it that is never apart from it. We are a part of the one, but we are never apart from it. I am that. I am. And so it is. And so it is.
Okay, now is the time in our service when we share our abundance. And as our ushers make their way down, if you have a pink slip, would you please include it? And I am going to tell you, I didn't know I was doing offering, and I've never done offering. So please pretend. There is great joy in giving freely of what we have. You know, I've often heard, if you ever give grudgingly, don't even give it. It's almost like it's tainted a little bit. So, if you'd like to make your way down. Divine, and say with me, please. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I receive in abundance.
And if you'd like to sing this little ditty that I wrote with me. Thank you for my health and healing, shining with your inner light. Thank you for each happy feeling, helping me to know what's right. Thank you for your inspiration. May I always hear your voice. Thank you for your gentle guidance, showing me my highest choice. Thank you for this gift I'm giving. May its goodness never end. Thank you for this life I'm living. By your grace, this prayer I send. Thank you, Annie. So we're gonna bless our offering. It's a challenge now.
Thank you.
As we appreciate the abundance of our lives and the abundance of the people within our unity community who give so generously, and we pledge that we will always use the funds and provide good stewardship to keep this place, to keep Unity of Chattanooga a lighthouse within Chattanooga. And so it is.
Announcements?
Probably me too.
Lovely day.
I'll be directing parking. Thank you so much. That was tremendous. And I love the Q&A.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
just a thought, I just on the spur of the moment, I don't know, I guess I needed to talk to you. Thank you.
And that is, anytime somebody brings up, this isn't theory, this is a way to live in joy and peace practically. And, that is what attracts me to this. And I too am one that have had to climb down intellectually into the heart. And I still struggle with that a little bit. Okay. So here are a few announcements. On Thursday this week, the Wellness Warriors will meet right here at 12 noon, led by Eric. If you're interested or have any questions, please see him. That same evening, Thursday, Amanda Newfield will hold her belly dancing class at 6:30, and the cost is $15 per person, and that, I will stress, is in the PM, 6:30 p.m. And everyone is welcome as long as you're female. On the back.
Would that be separation?
If that was, don't get me big on
I would hope belly dancing would be in the, not 6:30 in the morning.
There's some seriously disciplined person. Okay, so on the back table, we have registrations forms for this year's Unity Lake Junaluska fall retreat. And the Reverend Jim Blake, who is the CCO of Unity Worldwide Headquarters, will be the keynote speakers. So Penny tells me that tomorrow is the last chance to register, so please see her if you are interested and have any questions. Okay. We are excited and always experiential also. And this is a new activity we're going to begin on September 1st. At 8:30 a.m., we're going to have a meditation service. And these meditation sessions are for the deliberate focusing of attention inward and to bring about feelings of calm and heightened spiritual energy and awareness. So that's September 1st. If you have any questions, I'll defer to Eric Miller or to Mona Petro, who's somewhere. She's the beautiful blonde that's not me, so. Okay, so, oh yes, this. The beginning of the new Fall Spirit Group series that will be facilitated by Nicole Wellington. Nicole, wave. This will be held on Zoom on Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m. beginning September 8th. And September 8th is also the day that we are going to welcome all the people that join the church, the new members. It is called The Path of Conscious Creation, based on videos by Reverend Michael Gott, who is the senior minister at Unity of Houston. So right now we have a brief video to share with you from Reverend Michael Gott.
The path of conscious creation. This is the technology to see your desires demonstrated into actual form in your life. This is the metaphysics. This is what New Thought is about. This is our game, how we use the power of mind, of choice, to demonstrate and attract exactly the life that we've been looking for. So we're going to be exploring two sources here. The original Aramaic of the prayer that Jesus taught his disciples, which we call the Lord's Prayer. There's some deep metaphysical meaning in the original language, which is lost, really. Some of it is not readily translated into the English that we know. So there's some beautiful, juicy bits in there. And then also a 5-step affirmative prayer method created by Ernest Holmes that is sometimes called spiritual mind treatment, which is a step-by-step way to talk to your own mind so that you can open to the infinite creativity and possibility of spirit that wants to be demonstrated through you. It's rich, it's powerful, it's exciting, so I truly hope that you will join us for this great journey.
Okay, and I'm going to let you know sign-ups begin today, and we have Phaedra who is here if you have questions. She's right here. Or talk to Nicole.
And there's sign-up sheets.
And there's sign-up sheets right over there. So, next week, and this, Eric Miller, our very own Eric Miller, will present the Sunday talk, and his topic is, ready for it? Spiritual bypassing when positivity becomes denial. The inspiration for this talk comes from his Wellness Warriors group. We're going to start instigating, that's not the correct word. We're going to bring back something that we kind of paused since moving here, and that is praying, having a prayer chaplain available after the service. If you want someone to pray with you, whether it be anything, please. And in the purple stroll here is Keith Noyes. And if you want a little quiet, you guys can stand in the office and speak. But just please see him after the service. So, do we have fun today?
Yes.
So let's please stand and join in the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it be
Somebody working in the direction.